All right, I just finished episode 2, and it was awesome. Before I talk about it, though, I just wanted to show you it's a book I've had for like 30 years. This is the illustrated Star Wars universe, art by Ralph McQuarrie, and text by Kevin Anderson. And it just talks about the main 5 planets from the trilogy: Coruscant, Hoth, Tatooine, Bespin, Endor, and Alderaan. And just kind of talks about a little bit about the history of each planet. This is old expanding universe kind of stuff. This is an early book that was helping establish that universe, and it had art, the original art by McQuarrie. And there's Alderaan, the capital city of Alderaan. Beautiful, lush, white. The vertical buildings and everything. It's just, again, it's white, represents peace and purity. That's what Alderaan was all about. It has different terrains and stuff. Here's another picture of the vertical structure. It's just gorgeous work. You can Google this stuff, but it's awesome. And that's what I like about this is it really captures the tone. The Mandalorian series caught, if I pull out the Tatooine pictures of this, especially the sandcrawlers and the Tusken Raiders, some of the Tusken Raider stuff. Anyway, the Jawa stuff, their little civilizations, their little not bazaars, but whatever, their trading posts and stuff like that. A lot of that stuff, all this stuff is all homage from the original art, which sold the movies. If you do history at the beginning of the movies. Anyway, all right, let's talk about episode 2. I don't think the dialogue is as good as it could have been. It is some of the conversations. It's fine. It's interesting. Like, if I was rating, it'd be like a 6 out of 10, but it could have been like a 7 or 8 out of 10 for really juicing up the interactions between Leia and Obi-Wan. It's passable. It does the job. I'm not getting lost and distracted and pulled out of the show because it's like really bad. It's not like, some people are going to hate that, but it's not like prequel dialogue. It's good dialogue. It's just not great dialogue, and it could be better, especially for this series. Just some, I'm not examples, but just the interactions with Leia. I could be a little more. I don't know. She could be a little. It's like very surface level sassiness that they're putting on her, and they paint her with that Princess Leia brush, which is great. It's fine, but it almost feels cartoony. I feel like the cartoon with Ezra in the first parts of the Rebels cartoon, that feels a little more real, a little more grittier. I don't know how to describe it. I think the girl's cute. She's a good actress. She's playing the part just fine. It has nothing to do with casting. Obviously, it's not casting with Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's the issue. Just something about their connection. The one scene where they were walking the hangar bay, like all of her stuff, how she keeps saying you're not a Jedi, and you're fake. Do you even know my father or whatever? That he really sent you, or they're looking for you. All that stuff they're trying to do to build this little tension between them that really is going to require her to exercise faith in him. And there was all that build up, and I saw it coming. As soon as she said, "Make me float," and he's like, "No, we gotta sneak around. I can't use the Force. It'll draw attention." And then as soon as they started jumping on the rooftops, I'm like, okay, she's gonna fall, and he's gonna use the Force to catch her. And I love that he had a struggle. I was picking up on that from the first episode. I don't know if they really depicted it clearly. That was supposed to be like a setup. That he's kind of he's not blocked off, like he cut himself off from the Force like Luke did in the sequel series, but he's at least, it's a little dormant in him. He hasn't used and exercised the Force. I almost said priesthood. He hasn't exercised the Force in such a long time because he hasn't been dependent on it. He definitely hasn't used his lightsaber. I'm glad he didn't. I like that he didn't spark a lightsaber in this one. That was really close. He almost got into a fight with her, and she would have been really rusty. If he had beat her, maybe she's a kind of more amateurish than some of the Grand Inquisitors in this series, but like, if she's fully in action, she's been running around, she's hunting, she's engaged, she's activated, or she's active and fresh on her skills. She's younger than Obi-Wan. If dormant old Obi-Wan pulled out of his lightsaber after he just uncovered it from the ground, and he beat her, that would have been dumb. If he had outsmarted her in some clever way to get out of the fight, that would have been fine. But I'm glad that they didn't even fight. I'm fine with that. A lot of people might watch this and think this is like really slow pacing. I don't care. It's good. It's good world building, and I could watch Ewan McGregor just walk around playing Obi-Wan for hours and hours and hours, and it sounds like we're going to. By the way, the thing about him burying the the lightsabers, I like the concept when he told the other guy to do it, and turns out he had already buried his in Anakin's lightsaber. But it was like a foot underground. So in these storms, and we've seen dust storms on Tatooine, these this big, dunes in a desert like that, sand dunes, they ebb and flow. They come and go. It would be eroded away and then not eroded, but you know what I mean. It would be blown. It would be uncovered and then recovered constantly. But like he went right to the spot where he dropped it, and it was like a foot under the ground. And I'm like, if he had done that like last week, there probably would have been more sand on top. If he did it like a year ago, there would have been way more sand on top, or it'd be moved, Just that he went right to one spot. Maybe he sensed it. Maybe he has been drifting around. But if it's been drifting around a little bit, like, then why find a spot and bury it? Like, it doesn't seem like that's a secure thing. Hide it in a rock somewhere, maybe. I don't know. That's a stupid. Again, these are stupid, petty things that do not detract from how good the show is. But he got the lightsaber in this one. He didn't fight. He got away. I thought her running to the ship was a little cheesy. Like, there should have been a little more closeness there. I don't mean like relationship closeness, but like closeness to like he almost didn't get away kind of a thing. But he just kind of is hiding. She knows where it is. They push the cargo container right next to him, like she's honing in on him. And then the other guy, Grand Inquisitor, comes up and then she kills him, and then he like just runs off. And I'm like, what? She'd already activated the ship, so like, the Inquisitor should have been like maneuvering around to make sure he didn't, she cut him off so she could intercept him if she knew he was still there in the cargo. But then she did that, so she knew where he was, but he, like, it was just uneventful. It was just kind of weird. It wasn't like, Darth Maul trying to stop Qui-Gon from getting on Padme's ship in Episode 1. That was close. There was tension there. It wasn't like a big action sequence. That's not what you need. But it was like, oh, he almost didn't get away, And this one, he just like runs, jumps on, and she's like, I'll get you, whatever. It's all right. The parkour stuff, why she's running, it took her a really long time to get there, and it showed that long shot, which was really cool. The rooftops of how far away the gunfight was from where she was. But if you're gonna sit there and show her doing all this parkour, floaty dark side stuff, like, one, you can either make it interesting, which it wasn't, or two, she should get there faster. I don't know, like, make it eventful, not just that she arrives, that she got there soon enough. But she didn't even get there. Like, she started running across there, and then she just ended up running into Kumail Nanjiani. Like, she didn't even get there for the fight, so why all the floaty parkoury stuff? It was just kind of like, they're just trying to show off, and it wasn't cool, so whatever. I did like that shootout. I thought it was weird. It was cool visually, like conceptually, but not, you couldn't really see where people were. I didn't even see him take or get away. Like, he's shooting at the one dinosaur guy, and then if that's Forlom is the droid in the there's the Lego. That's the droid in the Empire Strikes Back. I think they did later give him kind of green eyes, but I don't know if it's just the same model as this assassin droid or bounty hunter droid, or if it was Forlom. Just because Kumail shot him again as he walked away doesn't mean he's dead. We know droids can be repaired. How many times has 3PO been shot? He's still 3PO. Anyway, if that was him, that's cool. Good cameo. But again, they're up on the rooftop shooting at Obi-Wan. All he does is turn over and lean over for like 5 minutes, holding her in while she's falling in slow motion. And he's going in like real time, which was kind of weird. Like, it was a long fall for him to be going. I love seeing all the tension and the pain on his face, and his trying to reconnect and get the Force activated again. I liked that, but it was just he spent a lot of time not in slow motion while she was in slow motion. So I'm like, hey, this is a really long fall for him to be going. And even after a delayed reaction, because she was falling, and he, like, as she was falling, again, it's like 3 floors. As she's falling, he goes from oh no, she's gonna die, to, I guess I better try using the Force, to, oh, I can't even use the Force, to, oh, I saved her. And while she fell 3 floors. That didn't really work for me, but it was, I got what they're trying to do, and it was fine. Anyway, he saves her, she uses it, and she should have been, you know, but whatever. She was relieved. All these people on the street like, oh wow, she's not dead. You know, they were like, not that she floated. They were all like, oh, she's not hurt. I'm like, did you guys not? You know, was that not a big deal? What you just saw, whatever. But yeah, he's shooting out with you know, not for his name. The bounty hunters up top, but with like Forlom. If Forlom didn't kill him, I'm gonna just call it Forlom. Just like it was IG-88 in the first time I saw the Mandalorian. If it was him, like, why he was like shooting and then suddenly he stopped shooting and then now he's on the ground, you know, when Obi-Wan gets to the ground and then Kumail Nanjiani shows up. Let's talk about Kumail Nanjiani. First of all, anyone that knows me well, it's not that obvious. It doesn't come up that often, but I love Kumail Nanjiani. He's the Pakistani actor, comedian who's in the show. He plays the fake Jedi. I don't remember his name, like Healy or something like that. I love his work. I think he's hilarious. I discovered him before he got into Marvel movies, before he got into whatever he did before that. Back when he just had a few comedic bits. He was a friend of Dan Harmon's, a creative Community and stuff. He was in Community. He wasn't big until he did the Stuber movie with Dave Bautista, and his first movie was The Big Sick. If you haven't seen The Big Sick, go watch The Big Sick. It's his true, you know, an adaptation of his true story of how he met his wife and everything. It's very emotional, very funny, very good. It's very pure Kumail Nanjiani. But I love his comedy. I think he's hilarious. I think he's a really funny guy, very underrated and underknown in the comedic world. But now he's rising up as a star in Hollywood, especially with Disney, because he just did the Eternals movie, which I haven't seen yet, and the only reason I wanted to watch it was because of him. I just haven't gotten around to it because I hear it's like a 6-hour movie just to watch Kumail. When I can just watch Kumail do other things. Anyway, Kumail Nanjiani is awesome, and his character, he walks in, he's doing all this, oh, I'm entering and leaving your mind. All that stuff was really funny. It kind of reminded me of the movie Dinner for Schmucks, or Dinner with Schmucks, whatever, with Steve Carell. Where he had a mind battle with what's his name, whatever his name is, Zanakis, whatever his name is, the other comedian that's much bigger than Kumail. I can remember Kumail Nanjiani, but not the other guy. But they're having their mind battle, like shooting, projecting at each other's minds and deflecting and everything. It was hilarious. It's all in their head. They're just goofy, crazy guys that think they have mind powers. This was Kumail projecting, like, oh, I'm now leaving your mind, and all that stuff. It was really funny, and I didn't realize I thought it was just a failed Jedi. That was one of the templates, again, from the West End Games stuff, where you have a beginning character. They don't just start you as a full powered fully powered and trained Jedi. You were just sometimes one of the options was you were a failed Jedi, or a Force sensitive kid, or whatever. But like this guy, I thought that's what this was, just a failed Jedi who's just trying to just be a swindler, a con artist, just trying to survive and just use his little powers just to impress people, and it was awesome. But then no, he was using magnets, and Obi-Wan was sitting there watching him do his little thing, and he was screwing over robbing these people. But you know, the dialogue later explained that and exposed who he was, and then there wasn't enough of a turn. I didn't think. He's like, well, we missed out on the bounty. He's telling the kid, well, let's get to him first, and then all of a sudden he's like in the alley helping him. If they had shown him reacting to, that's what they could have done, which if they did, I didn't notice it. If Kumail watched Obi-Wan save her, and maybe Obi-Wan gets shot while he's doing that, it would have been a little more tension, you know, in the arm or whatever. Saving her, putting him saving her above his own his own risk, and then him getting shot in the back would have been kind of a triggering thing for Kumail. Kumail's like, wow, I'm inspired by this guy who's sacrificing potentially his own life for someone else, and I'm sitting here screwing over people with a kid. You know, he just conned a lady with a kid, and here's Obi-Wan putting his neck out for a kid, and that would have generated some connection or some reason for him to turn. I didn't really get that. I think that would have been much more powerful if Kumail had watched that happen and he responded to it emotionally. That would have been cool. or him get the drop on Obi-Wan and then kill Forlom instead of just him just showing up and shooting him in the back. Anyway, isn't that what happened? Yeah, that's what happened. Anyway, I like the character. I like the idea. And I'm glad he didn't die. Oh, when she had him choked up against the wall and he's like, oh, that wasn't a magnet, was it? That was awesome. I was like, oh no, she's gonna kill him, and Kumail's already out of the series, but no, he's still there. So I'm glad. I'm excited. I'm sure he's gonna come in later. He's gonna be like the Bill Burr from the Mandalorian series, and he might sacrifice himself, or he might just be awesome. I can't wait to see. Anyway, him and Obi-Wan, that dialogue was good. I was fine with all of that. It was just the stuff with Obi-Wan the kid. The one part I liked was when he was like watching her, and he's like, "How old are you?" And when she was arguing back and taking command and stuff, and calling him out on things, she's like 10. He's like, "You don't seem 10." She's like, "Thank you." I like that. Some of the moments were really cute, really good. But the moment where he was watching her take charge, and she's like, "We're in trouble. We gotta go. Let's get to the ship, or whatever." She like starts walking off, like commanding him, and Obi-Wan's just like watching her. He's just like, She's like, "What's wrong?" He's like, "Nothing. You just remind me of someone." And she said, "Who was it?" He said, "She died long ago." And I thought he said she was a leader. I thought he was gonna say it was just a senator, which would have been awesome. Again, I should be a script doctor. It would have been good because if he had, it was showing his admiration for someone who was just like her, but that she was reminding him of someone else being feisty and commanding and powerful and independent, and yet he had said she was a senator. Now, in the first episode, you had Leia establishing that she had no ambition to be a senator because they're boring. Okay, well now here's Obi-Wan, who clearly has had a life of adventure and excitement, and he's on this adventure with her, and he's impressed by her, remembering someone that died a long time ago who was a fun, exciting, feisty, adventurous senator. That would have been cool, and that would have been like, Leia's like, wow, you know what? I can be me. Because remember the first episode, Leia's mom said, I don't know what Bale's wife's name is, but she said, she's like, all I do is wave, Mom, and she's like, well, then do more than that. Which is telling her you can be whatever kind of a person you want to be, whatever kind of a senator you want to be. So Obi-Wan describing another senator that she reminds him of, I think that would have been like, that would have triggered some possibilities in Leia. That would have been a good improvement. Not when it's trying to improve it, like, oh, I'm so smart, like I know anything. I just know some things that I think would have connected better for me. Maybe that's a better way of putting it. I liked it though. I liked the stuff. I didn't think the action. It had a very good John Wick 2. Is that where all the beacons go off and he's like he's gonna be bounty hunted, and he's like Obi-Wan's walking around. Everyone's like looking at their tablets. Oh, look, there's Obi-Wan. That was okay. The stormtroopers, the lighting. I love the lighting of this planet. It reminded me of whatever that little dive was in the alleyway scene where Cassian killed that other contact in Rogue One. Kind of remind me of that little underworld kind of planet. But I like it. This is a very Hong Kong busy place. And we got to see a meth lab, a Star Wars meth lab. That's awesome. I thought the thing where he threw down the drugs and they're all high when the Inquisitor comes back in. That was kind of cool. I like how Obi-Wan's running around with a pistol because he hates guns, and clearly he's not great with guns because it took him a long time to shoot that dinosaur bounty hunter. I think some concept or some connection or a reminder or an Easter egg, I guess, of or a nod in the dialogue where he's like, looking at this pistol because he hates guns, and he killed Grievous with a gun in Episode 3. Just kind of remind us of that it's not just regular for Obi-Wan to be using a gun. He should have some resentment towards the gun. They could have established or shown that, or at least whatever. How he even got the gun would have been good. He went and got his lightsaber. Getting on the ship, he could have. They should have had a moment where he retrieves the gun. Either got it from someone, borrowed it from someone, pulled it out of a box in his home, whatever. But some reaction to him having to use a gun and why he was using it to maintain his cover. I mean, that would have been cool. Just little things that would have made these little ties a little stronger. But overall, it's not bad. I'm not rating these episodes like I do sometimes with these shows, but it's good. It's solid. I enjoy it. This is an episode I would rewatch because it's still always wonderful watching the charm and charisma and the heft that Ewan McGregor brings to this character. He is Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he's I like seeing the torment. I like seeing the frustration. I like seeing the hesitancy. I like how he feels a little like oh, I thought all this was behind me kind of a thing, but he's like, but you know, the call of duty is always active for Obi-Wan. He can tell other Jedi to hide and to live an ordinary life. That's just not an option for him. He has the weight of this children of his failed student, his brother, on his shoulders. Excuse me. And the future of the Jedi Order, potentially. The future of the, I don't think he has a concept or an intention of helping, or of Luke being trained to restore the Jedi. It's more to combat evil. So this is like a whole new world for him. It's new grounds, new rules. So he has a loyalty to take care of Luke. That was the agreement at the end of episode 3. So his being pulled away from that to go run around with Leia. And I don't think we're going to see more of Luke, by the way. Maybe when he gets back to Tatooine, they may show him one more time watching from the sunset. Maybe one more interaction with Bail, which I didn't mention, or not Bail, with Uncle Owen. I didn't mention that in the last discussion, in the last review, or my last wild thoughts. I did like the dialogue with him and Bail, or with him and Ben. No, him and Owen. Really solid, really good. I like how he's carrying that bitterness towards Obi-Wan, but Owen is still, he's not quite as gruff and rude and kind of dirty. I don't mean like mean like or filthy or like vulgar, but I just mean he's not as like as he is in A New Hope, because he's got another 9 years to get there. He's exhausted, but he's a hard-working guy, and you put another decade on him, he'll turn into Uncle Owen you see in the movies. But he does a really good job. I like that interaction. I like the character stuff. I really do. I just, some of the dialogue with Obi-Wan and Leia could have been just kind of tightened up, and not tightened up, because that means like, you know, fewer lines or more precise lines. But just, I don't know. I think another pass on the script would have been good. Another look at it. Yeah, it's still good though. I like Obi-Wan. It feels like he's Obi-Wan on this adventure. I like this world. I like what they're doing, and I can't wait to see what happens next. Oh, and then they show the tease of Anakin. Oh, they mentioned that. One of the old books, they established this moment in the past where Obi-Wan discovers. This is before Disney bought Star Wars and erased everything in the old canon. But in the Legacy or Legend stories, there was I think it was the Dark Lord of the Sith book. I even have it. I keep looking over here as if I have like everything at my disposal, but I don't. It's not all right here. Anyway, I think it was one of the books that was telling the story between Episode 3 and A New Hope, where Darth Vader, where it had a little prologue at the end of this Darth Vader book, where Obi-Wan was just hanging out at or just going to Mos Eisley for supplies or whatever, getting a drink at the bar or whatever, and he was watching up on the news on the HoloNet this announcement or this news story about the local or the latest thing that Darth Vader did or whatever it was. And he saw the menacing Darth Vader in the footage or whatever, and he realized, and he knew instantly that was Anakin, because he called him Darth Vader, or Lord Vader. And it was traumatizing, because when he left him on the fire pit, on the volcano on Mustafar, he expected him to die. So when, in whatever canon, the moment that Obi-Wan discovers that Anakin lived should be a haunting and torturous and scary and depressing and anxious moment. And all of that, I think, was captured in Obi-Wan's response. I think a tear would have been good. But it's not just because you have to have a tear to make something more dramatic. But I think that emotion, like realizing his friend, what kind of life would he be? I don't mean like what kind of life, like with prestige and stuff. I mean like living in what conditions is his physical body with the way he left him. What kind of resentment was he going to have? But also, his whole job was to defeat half of the Sith Lords, and he failed. So he won the battle, but he failed because he didn't kill him. And now if Darth Vader is still a presence in the Empire, commanding hordes of Inquisitors that they are looking up to and reporting to, that obviously shows that Obi-Wan's mission was a failure, and he just discovered that in this episode. It's sad. I'm saying, like, the torment and the fear. Maybe a touch of fear. I think that's proper. This is a guy who has not been living the Jedi code with no emotions and all that for all this time. You know, reapproaching in his mind how he feels about the Jedi Order and their rules and traditions, about their codes and their fear and all that stuff, and him knowing that Anakin was a potential, or he was a comparable, whatever the word is, villain. It was a rival. He's now got someone who is very powerful with the Force, who's had 10 years that Obi-Wan doesn't know what he's been doing or how strong he's become with the tutelage of the Emperor, because he knows that the Emperor still lived, because Yoda failed his mission. That's all weighing now on Obi-Wan, and so Obi-Wan has to figure out, I think he's addressing some emotions. He's been cut off from the Force for so long, and I think some fear would be a natural instinct for him to feel a little bit of it. I don't think he's going to be like, oh, I got to take them down. He's going to be like, I can't believe he's still alive. And maybe underneath all those things I just described, a little sliver of, could he be turned, or could he be saved? I don't think so. That's my point. I said that in my last episode. I really think Obi-Wan has, after everything that's happened, he doesn't see the potential good in who Anakin is. Anakin is Darth Vader, more machine now than man, and we're now going to have his understanding of that in this series when he interacts with him at whatever point. Again, just so you know, I haven't seen any trailers. I don't watch Star Wars trailers. I never do. I always avoid them. I run out of movie theaters if one's coming on. I've done it before. I don't watch them because I know I'm going to watch everything anyway, at least the live action stuff. So I don't need to. I know Vader's in it, and then they just showed him. I don't know if that means they're actually going to fight or see each other, but it'd be a weird tease for them to establish these two characters on this six episode series and not even interact. That doesn't make sense, because their dialogue in A New Hope that they should have had another interaction since Mustafar. So I'm excited to see where they go with it. Hope that dialogue is a little bit tightened up. Anyway, this was bugging long enough. Sorry about that. I always just have things to say, but whatever. These are my thoughts. So tell me your thoughts. If you watch this and you have something you want to bounce off me, fine. Put it in the comments. Let me know what you think. But yeah, I liked it. Overall, it was a good episode. Kind of loose on the choreography and the fight. The parkour stuff was kind of weird. But they did that in the Mandalorian or the Boba Fett series with what's her name, doing all the parkour. So in Star Wars they don't do parkour very well. Just don't do it. Just stop it. Anyway, but it was still fun. Like Obi-Wan running around being Obi-Wan is still cool. I feel like there's a few little nuggets, Easter eggs, and things I missed in there that I thought were good. But it's fun. I'm enjoying this series. So I gotta wait a week now. I will watch these again before I watch episode 3 because I like them enough to revisit them. I couldn't say that for The Mandalorian, and definitely didn't say that for Boba Fett. So anyway, those are my thoughts on Obi-Wan Kenobi Part 2. And we'll catch you next time on Wild Thoughts.